Got so many guys out there. We Oklahoma State was. The drama continues as always. We just had a president. But you want it to be true, you make it true. But you get clicks, but when you go personal, what's really going on? Like, what's going on, y'all? This Greg said it. Back with another one. Well, hey. I'm here. Not on my regular time, but I'm here. At least I showed up. Unlike what them CU did yesterday. I don't think they showed up. I think that was AI. That was clones or something that came. But I'm here. No notice. I'm here. Got me some grapes here. I'm gonna feed myself some grapes. Cause we gotta do this here. We ain't running. We ain't scared of nobody here. Can't say this be real, cause what else do we do? Who else stayed up all night? Come in. People talk about me for years, and everybody's saying everybody mad about how them boys play at night. The most garbage games you can watch. And for the geniuses who said it's a brilliant idea to play all these late night, quote unquote, prime time games at midnight, it's good for the fan base. All the people who fall asleep on the games, don't finish the games. How's that good for advertising? See, people just be dumb, like they don't think stuff through. It's good for Colorado to play it late at night. They don't perform. No stat shows it. Right? Nobody stayed up to watch it, but it's good. It's good for marketing. Told dummies that. It's good for marketing to stay up all night, sleep deprived, can't barely focus. Your team barely play worth of crap, barely to doubt itself, and you stay up all night on a Saturday. Some people go to church or whatever. How's that good? But y'all call that a good thing, right? Yeah, I don't said it. All these, I said it to the point Coach Prime said. Nobody want to acknowledge it, but people want to say, "Oh, the other team play at night." Well, then we ain't talking about the other team because the other team ain't having this issue. This their issue. We ain't here to talk about nobody else's team. We talk about this team. This team clearly has an issue. Right? Show me the stats. Somebody put it together. Go show me a good night game they played ever. Name it. Claim it. Show me a good night where they just balled out at a night game. Since they love to see you play at 8 o'clock their time, 10 o'clock Eastern. The game in at midnight out there and at 1 some o'clock over here. Show me a game that they played good. Name one. In 3 years. That they didn't play some weird type of game where they're like, what's wrong with them? And even if they won. Show me a good game and they did like, whoa, they were good. I should like all those games happened when the sun was out. The earlier they played, the more dominant. The blowouts they had, earlier. 3:30 and earlier. Shoot, one time they played over there like 10 o'clock in the morning. And they played at noon or 1 o'clock Eastern. It was like 10 o'clock out there. I think that when they played Utah, either Utah or Oklahoma State, the early game, they beat the mess out of them. They didn't play a perfect game. But they scored like 40-some points. Which especially now, is rare for Colorado. You're not going to see Colorado beat somebody like 60-0. They don't have that kind of manhood about themselves. They score 40-50. Yeah, they whooping the team. They'll let the team come back at the end, put up 20 points, garbage time, and get up a whole bunch of yards. They'll let them do it. They'll let the other team score as if it's sympathy. But people don't have sympathy on them. It's funny. I've been saying it for 3 seasons. From this. His DBs look the same. Can't cover. Linebackers look the same. They look like animals on tape. And they come over here and play like Some little, you fill in the blanks. What's going on? I'm sure you know Walker. Willie Walker. Willie Walker. How long we been talking about this stuff? After that, just come on here. Say they do something, they're gonna eat me some grapes on live. They just can play any kind of way. I just eat me some grapes. Next time my house might feed me some grapes. Everybody be doing stuff. I'm just come on here and be all professional and on another mic and background. We just about this football game. That's what we want to call it. Who stayed up? Anybody? Everybody told me they went to sleep. I wanted to. Kind of did at the end. I wanted to quit, but I say everybody can't quit. Colorado already don't quit, dog. Everybody can't quit. I ain't expecting to win or nothing, but I gotta come on here and talk about this tomorrow. How am I do that knowing the game over in the first 5 minutes? Do I cut the TV off and then come over here and act it? It was a hard night. Somebody did something yesterday. Let me tell you something. Referees do plenty. Everybody looking at the players. It's cute. Nobody looking at the referees. There's a lot going on with that mafia stuff. If that's what you want to call it. See, I've been trying to tell y'all. You got players involved, coaches involved, referees involved on different levels at different times. And then some people just so sorry, they automatically help you rig a game. Look how Cleveland playing right now. Cleveland's so sorry, you ain't got to rig their game. And you notice, I'm gonna give y'all a trick. I'm gonna give y'all a mystery. Y'all hear a mystery? How I know I'm right? Everybody right about this something. I know what I'm right about, right? Check this out. Phone a friend. Tell a friend. You want? No, I'm gonna prove something to y'all. Come on, Shedeur Sanders was there 2 years. With all those NFL starters he got, except him, everybody else playing him except him. Go figure, right? Yeah, wide open. Check this out. You finna be wide open for real now. Check this out. Y'all here at the right time. Everybody else finna miss and have to watch the replay. Y'all notice when Shedeur was there, what was their biggest issue? From day one to the day he left, what was Colorado's biggest issue? Oh, we say they didn't block. That's true. They still don't block. But guess what? That don't happen. That's how I know. Let me prove to y'all how these games are rigged up by these refs. Every game Shedeur played in. Yeah, they ain't winning tonight. Look, they ain't gonna win that tonight. But every game that they played in, that Shedeur played in, guess what the average penalties was? That's how they controlled the game. Every game that Shedeur, Travis, all them played from the day they started to the day they left, the referee gonna throw about 10 flags a game on average. We looking dumb. Oh, they're so undisciplined. Every time they did something, every time they made a big play, that's what happened. The whole time they was there. Every time Colorado's back out the field, pass interference. Roughing the passer. Every time. They suplex, poke him in the eyeball, kick him in the kidneys. They did everything they should do. Before, doing, after the play. How many times did he get personal foul called him? Not even a half a hand. They didn't happen. So, you notice now Colorado, all of a sudden, they don't get them penalties called. All of a sudden, Colorado is the least penalized. Is it because they more disciplined? See, airhead folks who dumb, they just run their mouth. The clowns that come here to run their mouth, that's why they ain't smart at nothing. because they just clowns. They just run their mouth. They just ain't got nothing to do with their life. But the reality is, they never smart enough to even know the difference. People like that, they don't contribute now. Because the reality is, if you pay attention to patterns, instead of being silly, you know. When Colorado had all them boys there, they controlled Colorado by penalties. More than half of them games they lost in that first year was because of penalties. Penalties at all the wrong times, you would say. Penalties where they would get team off the field and they give them a chance and they lose by a field goal. They lose by a touchdown. That's how they control Colorado with the bad line and all. That's how they control Shedeur. Now that Shedeur is gone, do you see all them penalties? A dummy in the chat will say, he don't know nothing, can't prove nothing. Just that's the silliest bozo the clown. But the reality is the stats to show. Yesterday, Coach Prime said the best thing I ever show had 2 penalties for 15 yards. You ain't need them. They're not a threat. You ain't got to control the game. Because Colorado can't tackle, they can't do this, they can't do that. And they really never could tackle, but they had Shedeur. Shedeur go out there, run backwards, he's talk stupid, he still throw 300 yards for a game. His whole career. He gonna score 3-4 touchdowns in the air a game. Then you have Travis Hunter. You say, because he got Travis. Then Jim and them come up. All them boys in the NFL right now. While he on the bench, they playing. See? So Colorado at this point, you don't have to control a team like Colorado with their the penalties and stuff like that. But that was something that's how they control the game. For the Geniuses just coming in, we talked about how people rig games and what it looked like and how certain situations the players don't have to be involved as much because they're garbage. Just like Cleveland. You don't have to rig Cleveland. They're going to go out there and you can't score with 7 points a game. If you ain't running the ball, your quarterback can't throw but short. He going to throw a pick or 2 a game because everybody know he's going to throw the ball short 10 yards. He can't thread a needle. So they're gonna beat him. Now, Cleveland was up. Now they getting their butt beat to sleep. You don't have to rig that. They is the rig. They are the rig. Shedeur was the X factor. So what did they do? Go look at it. Holding, this, that. Or they kept him off the field with penalties. Every time his defense is about to get off the field, they threw a penalty. Every time Colorado was about to make a run for it, take off, they put penalties on them. They took 3 touchdowns off the field in the Utah game alone when Shedeur didn't play, just to make sure that they lost. They took 2 from Travis Hunter alone. Said he dropped the ball, he stepped out of bounds. He was a mile away from out of bounds. They didn't even try to review it. They blew the whistle, so you couldn't review it. Then he got the ball in the end zone. They reviewed it. Clearly, ain't no other way you can catch the ball. We watched games all around that, but they bobbled and it was a catch. And they shut up there and they called, he dropped the ball. That's how they control talent. So, yeah, they can rig it like that. But when you out there, you can't score. You ain't got no X factor. Colorado, let me tell you, man, Colorado got a quarterback. I don't know what in the world he was doing at Liberty. I don't know what happened. But he refused to be a factor in the game. He refuses to be a factor in the game. Where either he's going to throw the ball and be a factor there, or he's going to be a running threat. Every single body, every freshman, you don't play more freshmen. It's a record year of freshmen you don't play. They come out here and run over 100 yards on you. Running the ball. Third down and 47. I'm going to take off running because sorry, Colorado. I got no linebackers. I'm going running for it. Everybody do it. Everybody. They did it last year, really, in the beginning. They know I'm going to take off running. And you know they're taking off running, and your dumb linebackers don't even pay attention to it. No football IQ. So you, who's supposed to be the true dual threat quarterback, you ain't even doing it. You act like you're in prison. You ain't making them fear your legs at all. You just using it for scrambling. You're not really making them fear you. You know, you trying to act like you're a quarterback and you're not. You're not going to be a quarterback at the next level. You wasn't going to be a quarterback at the next level. Period. You're not like, you're not like Lamar Jackson. You're not my boy up there at Washington. won the Heisman. You're not him. Everybody talking about what you did at Liberty, but did you do it here? You see, so it's like, but what you could have did in the Big 12, what all the other quarterbacks are doing, freshmen and all, is run the freak, step your butt back and take off running. You know, everything I talked about all offseason was this, man. Yeah, I mean that may, you know, we can say that all day. I don't know. I'm sure that's a part of it. I'm sure that's a part of it. Yeah, I'm sure that's a part of it. But you got to think about this. Yeah, they probably held him up. Let's say he's in jail or what? Because when you look at it, I mean, I don't know. It's a weird combination of the last 2 years, the first year and this year. From the time of you got a running quarterback, and now he's standing in the pocket like he should do it, but he not should do it. Your line, they block, but they don't block. So it ain't really like what you think it is. It's your quarterback is mobile enough to elude a lot of sacks that he would, and he just throwing it away. Shadua wasn't throwing the crap away. Shadua was taking sacks because he wasn't finna be throwing a 40% like this guy. Shadua took the risk, and it worked half the time, and it didn't. But you know, you say, well, he took a 20-yard sack. Well, they were going to be punting the crap anyway. Look how many punts yesterday. Did him taking the sacks, taking 2-yard sacks versus a 15-yard sack, did it help? It mess up the stats, but does it help? So do a banking on the fact, hey, I'm going to spin around and get away and shoot. At least half of them times, I'm going to catch somebody downfield. Travis Hunter going to be open. Jimmy, somebody going to be open. And you love it when it work, and you hate it when it don't. And you say, oh, but he was banking on it. I step up in the pocket, I'm done. I'm banking on myself. How did Staub go down the field? I mean, did not Staub go down the field when everybody else was in? Did they not take everybody out the game when Staub went in? I don't know. I can't defend what Staub did, but did not everybody come out the game when Staub went in? The backups in? Was they blitzing him the same? It's not the same situation. I don't think anybody could have withstood that. The scheme sucks. You say put Juju in. Juju would have did worse from a standpoint of sacks because one thing that Salter is able to do is Salter is able to elude sacks. It's just once he eludes the sacks, that sidearm crap, they knocking the ball, they throwing the underhand. It's like he can escape the sack, but he don't escape to get the ball down the field. When Shadua escaped, he was dangerous because he escaped. You know he finna find somebody because his receivers were a whole lot smarter. They were a whole lot smarter than these guys. They was harder working. They blocked better. So Shadua escape, he gonna find somebody. You better not let him escape. You better sack him. Because he gonna find somebody downfield. He gonna hit him. He ain't overthrowing them. He ain't skipping it off the ground most of the time. It's rare you saw that. Salter escape, and his jump finna get knocked down, picked off, or he gonna throw it out of bounds. It's no real. That's the thing. Now, if he was escaping running, maybe he would be more dangerous. Because you be like, man, everybody is trying to sack him. He escaped him. There's nobody else downfield. Everybody else in coverage. But he ain't doing that. He escaped, and he's still jogging, looking like he's going to throw. You ain't finna throw that downfield with that sidearm crap. Your receivers are not as knowledgeable and skilled as prior, clearly. We thought they would be more this. They young, or they just whatever. Y'all ain't on the same page at all. Quarterback doing all that. Receivers they ain't blocking. They ain't showing up. 2 of them didn't even play. But they didn't even play most of the game. We got a lot going on. And it comes with a culture of recruiting a lot of guys who transfer. Because you got to keep repeating your culture. Like the people who really got your culture, they graduate and now you starting over. When you have a lot of turnover in leadership. Like they only had probably 1 or 2 guys return on offense who started last year. And same thing with the defense, as far as the defensive line. So culturally, you better have a solid culture. The problem is maybe that's what's showing. Because the only thing consistent in Colorado is their play. And I'm going to tell you, since we're on this subject, because I also said this, and somebody listening, but they ain't listening right. Coach Prime get out there for the last couple years, probably 3, and get mad when his teams tackle like little girls. Oh, we gonna hit at practice. Everybody lie. Man, you wasted the whole freaking summer and spring playing tussy pussy ball. You didn't really wanna let nobody get hit the whole summer, the whole spring. You worry about people getting hurt in the spring. Oh, yeah, but I mean, this coming back late stuff, man. He didn't want to let these folk go home. He had that at Jackson State. That Shiloh even got into that. Like, that's his thing. That's the culture he bring. He big on that kind of stuff. But you get out there, don't nobody go to the ground. I heard him say one thing was man, I call it what it was the dumbest thing I ever thought he would say. He said the reason why these guys gets hurt because they go down to the ground. That's not when you get hurt. All the years of my life playing ball, you don't get hurt by getting tackled. People don't get hurt by getting tackled. They get hurt by maybe somebody going low on them. They get hurt by somebody maybe cracking back or something like that. But tackling is a fundamental part of the game. They literally got tackle drills you do your whole life from the day you start playing. Oklahoma, all these different names they got. These do Bull in the Ring, they outlawed that. You know, and you think about these boys ain't doing no tackling drills. And this is your whole off season. What you care if they get hurt? They got time to heal. The whole off season, spring should be pure hitting. Forget plays, hitting, fundamentals, seeing what people made of, right? Then tackling nobody ain't hurting nobody. Let's be real. Especially you like 5-10 yards away from each other. You do that every day, all day. You're not getting hurt from that. You're more likely to run down the field and pull your hamstring, twist your ankle, than to get hurt from a tackle. You know, look here, man. Y'all gotta listen. You say you disagreeing with me. I ain't said nothing about speed yet. I said tackle. What does tackling somebody got to do with speed? Full speed and tackling is two different things. You see, full speed. First of all, I'm gonna disagree with you because you more likely get hurt going at half speed than full speed. What are we talking about? That's a fact. That's always been a fact. If you go by the fact, they tell you don't go out there on that field half playing, you're gonna get hurt. That's an old classic saying. Anytime I got hurt, it was when I was going half speed or 3/4. What are we talking about? 7-on-7, something like that. I got a whole fractured fibula doing a 7-on-7 with pads because I wasn't going full speed. And I couldn't go full speed because I just came back from a groin injury or whatever. But because I wasn't going full speed, I kickstand my leg and got my leg fractured. Versus if I was going full speed, I would have ran through the boy back and none of that wouldn't even happen. It wouldn't even been nothing to get hit. I would have disintegrated his behind. And the guy that came across the other side wouldn't even been there because I would have we both would have been gone by the time he showed up. But because you half stepping, you more likely to do something you wouldn't normally do. Stick your leg out there, pull up. You pull up on something, you more likely to get hurt. What are we talking about, man? When you go hit somebody and you pull up and they don't, they more likely to hurt you. What are you talking about? You less likely, y'all both going full speed. Since we talking about speed, if you both going full speed, you less likely to get hurt. You gonna get hurt when I go full speed and you don't, and vice versa. That's when you get hurt. When your cues get mixed up. I thought we was playing around. You go and fight somebody. Y'all both fighting full speed. Y'all might make it out. If one of them trying to be and the other one fighting, he gonna hurt your behind. What are we talking about? That's how you man. I don't know what you talking about. Oh, okay. You said y'all never full practice on tackle, but live during the game. Yeah, we tackle. We tackle. We tackle. Yeah, we tackle at practice. We tackle at practice every day, except like shoot. We had equipment on. We was tackling, and I rarely seen people get hurt from getting tackled. Sorry. I see most injuries in football, especially now, come from soft tissue injuries. Let's talk about soft tissue injuries. That's not bones. Soft, you break bones, but most injuries come from hamstrings. Like I had a groin. You know these pulls you have, and that comes from proper lack of proper warm up. That comes from lack of proper stretching. That comes from over lifting. Not enough balance in your lifting. Like you overpower on the front, but you ain't doing crap in the back. You know what I'm saying? You overloading the quads, but your hamstrings weak, and vice versa. That's where most of the injuries come. See, I'm showing y'all something y'all don't know nothing about me. Y'all think it's a game up here. I know what I'm talking about. I can dumb it down all day. I actually been trainer and everything. I still can train right now. I can train right now. And I can train you without a freaking football. Everybody football gurus on this internet now, but I can train you without the football. I can train your body and your mind. So don't get it twisted. The fun and games on this. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what causes injuries. I know exactly what causes injuries. You see, and most injuries not even have to do with the sport itself. It has to do with your preparation of your body. I didn't have many injuries. My body was very well rounded. I didn't have many injuries. And the injuries I came up later was, wear and tear and stuff like that. Major injuries, I had a fracture filament, and that was when I wasn't going full speed. Never had an injury from just tackling somebody. Because first of all, from the day I was started ball, I was trained by real coaches. I don't know what this crap about. I see stuff how the DBs playing to the outside. They teaching them now to put the ball head to the inside, not the outside. See, we didn't play that crap. So fundamentally, my family, I wasn't like these kids now, travel ball and all that, where they playing all these different games. Like I played with a very solid foundation, very solid football program. We whooped everybody, and we was known for it. And you to this day in Georgia, people know that they got a lot of travel and stuff like that. So that stuff helps with injuries because you're fundamentally sound in how you tackle, how you block, and stuff like that. So even though I went to high school, I may not have the best coaches. That stuff carried over with me. I didn't have a lot of injuries because of my foundation, you see. So your foundation is not only what you've done prior to what you did at college. Your foundation is also what you do every day at practice. Even when I was in college, there's certain things we did every day from a fundamental standpoint before practice started. You warmed up, you go into your individual groups, you do individual drills. That drill stuff is cute, but that don't replace tackling. So you can't say we did that, but we're not tackling. So we did that for a good hour. Drills, bad drills, how you approach the ball, tackling drills, getting your head across, you using your hips. And they coaching you now. Use your hips. Come on. I had a problem. I used to run through folks. So I never had to use my hips. Like college, I use your hips. I didn't know what they was talking about. What are y'all talking about? I don't understand it. Because I was always bigger and whatever. So it's like that stuff plays a role in how you play. What I'm talking about. Not just full speed tackling, but you should be doing tackling. I ain't talking about tackling no freaking pad. They roll the tie, you tackle the tie. That's what they showing you practice. That's weak. Man, the linebackers and running backs, take y'all butt over there. Put the two doggone dummies down on each side. Lay on your back. Get up. You ain't getting hurt from that. Or, some Oklahoma type stuff. There's different layered drills. One lineman down, 2D lineman, one lineman down, one linebacker, 2D lineman down, one linebacker and the safety. And y'all working on, your fits and all that type of stuff. Nobody get hurt with that. But it's almost like game-like situation. It's a game-like situation because the lineman got to block. The linebacker got to learn how to read, even though it's in a consolidated situation. The linebacker got to know how to read, and the safety got to learn how to run the alley, but they also got to learn how to play together. And that's the closest thing to a game because even though there's only, 3 or 4 of y'all in between an isolated situation, you get a chance to assimilate some of that. So when you do go out there and you say you running half the line or you running full line, when you running those when you get out there and you running team, and then you may break out to 7-on-7 with the DBs, then y'all come together with the whole team later, and that's another thing. See that y'all just brought on another thing. I said this too this year when I realized they only got 4 hours a day total. That's with their meetings. That's with their dad. He got to do. I said, I have a dream speech. Got to be doing that hour and watch a video, motivate them up. Then they got to go into their individual rooms and watch film or whatever and go over something. Then they go out on the field. And he said, I only got an hour and 10 minutes with y'all. Man, that's bull. Man, we had a 3-hour practice a day. I think 3.5. Minimum 3-hour practice a day. You can't go through all of that. Our fundamentals was an hour alone. Tackling drills and all that stuff. An hour alone. You see? Then you talk about you go and then you do 7-on-7, then you do team and you do all that. And our practice was like 3 hours. We ain't even meet. We watch film like in the morning or something like that. Maybe that's our 4 hours. But majority of our stuff was practice. There wasn't no speeches and talking and even me with individuals because we pretty much did our own field. I know every school is different, but I'm saying the bulk of our time was on the field. The bulk of their time is in classrooms. They're in the classroom. That's why I call it have a dream speech. I'm all for motivation, inspiration. Say that mess to off season when y'all ain't, you know what I'm saying, got time to be on the field. Do the mental work. I believe in mental work, but it don't need to be done every day. Do that crap once a week. Do that on that Sunday. Or maybe I have, you give them Monday off. Maybe you need to do it that day. Or maybe you do it that Tuesday and that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody gonna look better you online. Yeah, he was fussing at him, but I mean, it's too late. It's too late because like he wants to like jam these boys up. Now he wants to get on them. Y'all didn't do this. Y'all need to tackle them. And everybody lied. But your chance to have everybody lie was the whole July, August. They limit when y'all can get together and all that during it pretty much August, right? Dude, that's what we had. We come out. We didn't stay all year round. Some people didn't. Our practice didn't start to them 3 weeks in August. When we did 2 days and all that to make up for it. But in 3 days. Look, you hitting. You may get bruised up, hurt up, but guess what? Your body is becoming callous. That's what y'all don't realize. People ain't play no ball. Your body got to be used to getting hit. That also affects injuries. That's like your butt working out once and twice every now and then, and you wonder why you sore, or you wonder why you ain't strong. Well, you got to do this consistently. You got to, how muscle grow? You got to tear the muscle, break it down, build it back up. That's what the soreness comes from. That's what the acid go in and treat your muscle. Your muscle don't grow without pain. How do you expect to play freaking football without pain? He wants to go out there and practice and don't tackle, but he wants them to be a tackle in the game. And they go out there arm tackling. Let me tell you how you know. Man, this is so old. This is beyond this football game here. This is their whole season, their whole philosophy. Everything about these boys. They tackle with their hands. They tackle like babies want they baba. Beat me, baba. Give me that. They reach. They don't even try to hit with a shoulder. Your first initial contact should be with your helmet and shoulder pad. They already reaching. When they run, they reaching. It's like running down the football field trying to catch the ball with your hands up. You look dumb doing that. You run down the field trying to catch the ball like you got what is it, ice hot under your hands, like what was that, Little Giants or something. If you run around like that, you look like a clown. How you gonna catch a route running around like this, running slants? You don't put your freaking hands up until you're ready to catch the ball. Same thing with tackling. Why are you reaching at the man? You're supposed to run through the man. You're supposed to use your helmet and shoulder pads and wrap him up. They defensive line, I ain't never seen the crap day in my life. Defensive linemen tackle like a DB tackle like a linebacker. They all tackle the same. And that's all on your coaching. Ain't nobody hitting like a Hill Green did last year. And Hill Green brought that with him. He is not a product of Coach Prime's system. And he everybody, woo, Hill Green, bow. Bentley did a little bit, but Hill Green, bow. You ain't heard none of that. Because these boys' philosophy is built upon how they practice and how they've been trained. They don't eat. I mean, you watch these boys. I kid you not. I watched them last night. Tell me I'm wrong. All the geniuses in the chat. Tell me I'm wrong. I watched so many people hug people to the ground. Jeremiah Brown had a lot of tackles. I know he a wrestler and it looked like it. Because he gets there and hug them from the side and pull them from their waist. I watched defensive linemen wrap around in relation try to pull them down. That's why the whistle keep got to get blown. Beep, 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 beep. Nobody ain't hit nobody. They get there and reach and grab them and pull them down. They not hitting nobody and going through them. You ain't saying that. You ain't name me where you seen that in Colorado. I remember Colton Hood did it last year, slamming folks and all that. That kind of physicality don't exist with no weak crap where you are the team that don't let you don't. You talk about being physical, but 90% of your off season, You don't even want him to tackle. He thud up. What is a thud? That's what all your team do is thud. That's why everybody bounce off your tackles. That's why all these freshmen run for 100 yards on you as quarterbacks. Because all you do is thud. That's your thudding is the result of your season. Why are y'all acting so dumb like you don't realize it? Your thudding is exactly what they're doing in the game. They're thudding. They're hit. Boom, the guy bounced off you. That's why they lost to Kansas last year. That's why they lost to Oklahoma to Kansas State last year. BYU. They lost them games because they thud. They get back there and hit them, and then they think it's over because he won't hit and let the running back keep running. They want everybody to get to the ball. That ain't how that works. Because you're programming them that tackling is they completed the job by hitting them. Boom. That's it. That's it. That's a wrong mentality you teaching them. Then they gonna do that crap in the game. You looking dumb. You the one told them to do that. You the one that got defensive linemen and linebackers for sure thinking that thudding is the way to go. They're not ever getting a chance to perfect their skills or even get coached on their tackle. So you don't even know if they can tackle. Because all you know, they thud up real good. You don't even know what they do after they thud. Because the man ain't finna stop running just because you hit him. He's trained to run through all the dummies and pass all himself. He's trained to get thudded. How's you helping them learn how to break a tackle? You wonder why your running backs don't break tackles. Because they ain't got to. Because you teaching them how to be thudded. Then when they get in the game, your running backs, every time somebody hit them, they fall to the ground. Or they just know how to run to the back of the line. You ain't had no running back break multiple tackles yet. Then you ain't giving them a chance to even learn how to break tackles. The only time they get a chance to break a tackle is in the game. It's too late. That's why your running backs are so soft. You say Salty running through people. If he there, the problem is he ain't nowhere near the ball. Man, French don't got so. Hey, French was better when he got here. I would hope. French, he wasn't even in the field yesterday. He was everywhere he shouldn't be, and Hughes ain't no better. So that linebacker core, all they do is run away from the ball. They the dumbest linebackers I've ever seen. They go where the ball ain't going. Or they just take off running into a hole where the ball ain't. Who told them to do that? You ain't blitzing. They just see a pull. They just run into a hole. But the ball going out there. So now, y'all ain't noticed that every time that you got like where the linebackers at every time they run a sweep and they turn that corner and they hit the second level and they gone. Hey, y'all not run to that? You don't know why? Because your freaking linebackers is not scraping. Your job as a freaking linebacker is to scrape parallel, scrape and pursue. They run straight into a hole, whether the ball there or not. And then both of the linebackers just run into a hole. Or the I guess the play side backer, instead of him kind of playing his role, and I mean you could say he could spill it or he can keep contained or whatever to help that backside linebacker be able to come and scrape down and help. But no, this fool hits the hole where the ball ain't. The ball go outside. That far side linebacker, he a mile away. Because ain't nobody over there to contain that. So he hit right here. Nobody out there. He turned the corner. The backside linebacker, he just trailing behind him. He trailing behind him. So he can't do nothing because he ain't got the speed or the angle to really get there. Because the play side linebacker is hot garbage. And that's what you were seeing. So, the linebacker play is all the result. Last 3 years, it's hard, man. Hard. We've been really been cool with Hart because we like Coach Prime and all that. Hart, he's gonna be special teams coach. He say he want to be a coach one day. He in the wrong. He need to find another position. His linebacker play is exposing him as a coach. His linebacker play is exposing him as a coach. You say, when did the shoulder pad change? Yeah, I mean all that. I mean, I saw that with Travis played last year. When he hurt his shoulder, I knew he was hurt. His shoulder pads used to sit on top of his shoulders. Shoulder pad supposed to at least go over the cuff right there. You ain't gotta have no big shoulder pads to be all the way out. It's just they should fit. They got them to fit. Travis Hunter's shoulder pads set like a box. So when he fell down on that Kansas State game, I knew he was messed up. He take care of his body. And he rehabbed and all that. And he came back quicker than he probably should have, because he that thing right there can linger. But they don't wear no shoulder pads. They don't. They best stop when I was playing. They stopped wearing butt pads and hip pads, but they still had and knee pads. They had a little piece of knee pad on, but they had little thigh pads on and stuff like that. Now they shoulder pads look like look like the cushion of one of the I forget what we called them the under my brain is slipping here. It looked like the accessories that we used to wear up on our shoulder pads. That's what they shoulder pads look like. You're not pros. I can see defensive linemen maybe doing it, but linebacker, I don't know. So yeah, the shoulder pads was way bigger, which probably is not necessary because technology, the helmets are more confined. So surely you can get a shoulder pad that's lighter weight, but it still should cover you. It shouldn't be your whole freaking arm is out from under the shoulder pad and you get hit there and now you got a stinger. That what happened to what year was that? Your boy Debo Samuel when he got hurt in the pros. When he hit that shoulder, they hit him, he lowered his shoulder. It was no shoulder pad down. He was done. I don't care how big and strong you are, man. If that thing get hit the wrong way with a face mask or something, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So yeah, they ain't wearing their pads the right way. But they ain't hitting anyway. They ain't hitting because they don't train to hit. The reason why our games when you came up back in the day, people used to hit because you was trained to hit. You bull in the ring and you ain't. Everybody was hitting. Wow, these boys don't want to hit nobody. That's why Shiloh was such a big deal because he was an old school style player as a safety, like Willie Lynch or something, or John Lynch. Type of practicing probably would work if he had a roster full of. It don't work because you ain't gonna beat no dog. You're gonna be a cat. It didn't work for them. They had. Did you forget what they issues? They had the same issues last year. Did you not see what happened in the Kansas game? Kansas State. They had, no matter how much of a dog they were, they had the same issues because of their practice. The dog gets turned to a puppy or something because at the end of the day, if you're not, that's why I know. Yeah, if you are not doing something consistently, when you start doing it, you're not as comfortable, as confident when you were doing it consistently. If you do something every day, it's second nature to you. You don't have to think twice about it. But when you don't do it and then you have to do it at full speed in the game, you gonna hesitate. Cause you're like, man, and when the last time I tackled somebody, like I've been bumping into people for months. Now I gotta actually go through the whole thing. It's uncomfortable. And your body is not even used to it. Your body got to be used to this stuff. Why you think you got all these tour days and stuff and wearing out there in the heat and in the rain and wear your helmets, the first few days to get your neck used to it before you put the pads on, you go out there and rip your neck off. You're going out there hitting day one, so you wear your helmet so just so the muscles, my neck was this big when I was playing. Because you got that helmet on. You don't go out there hitting day one. You got to get your neck. Your neck going to be sore. You're going to be sore right there. The muscles there be so big and sore. But you got a helmet on. You running. That thing like down there 10 pounds. And you running with it. Your body got to get used to like a baby. So same thing with hitting. You got to get used to being hit and hitting. If you don't do it for a long time, if me and you go out there and hit right now, you ain't going to like it. It ain't going to feel good. Yeah, how they do that? Because they do it every day. If they do it every day. If you don't do it every day, you go out there and pass and hit somebody, your mind gonna be like, oh, because you're not used to doing it. And then when somebody hits you, it's gonna hurt and feel different than if your body is used to it. Like I said, your body has to be callous to that kind of stuff. It's like playing baseball and everything. Your hands got to get callous, lifting weights. My hands, that's callous. Ain't no who holding the weight. I don't even wear gloves in the weight room. Man, it's too hard. If I stop lifting for a long time, go back, man, I couldn't even hold it. You know what I'm saying? Your hands got to get callous to it. Your body has to get callous to it. That's what training is all about. You got to get used to being in a certain situation. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. This ain't new. I mean, North Dakota did it. And name who didn't do it. No matter, name who didn't do it at any level. Wyoming did it. Delaware, all they don't matter if it's a second string quarterback, freshman quarterback, they all have successfully ran up and down the field on street. Cause ain't nobody hit now one of them yet. We always talk about we watch them always talk about the medical tent. Ain't no medical tent. The medical tent retired. Ain't nobody hit nobody this whole season. Name me a hard hit yet from anybody. I ain't talking about no hit. I'm talking about bow like how Hill Green did. Name it. They ain't intimidate nobody. All they tackles lead with their hands and fingers and their arms. All they tackles start with a reach. Ain't nobody doggone running through nobody. The inability to be physical at the point of contact. Yeah, they bumping off, they bouncing off of you like pingo balls. Like you're not intimidating nobody. Since when the quarterback so comfortable running? They back in the day the quarterbacks didn't run because they didn't want to get hurt. Or you don't want to ring their bell and knock them out. They ain't even scared to run their quarterback on you. That's how they know you soft. They not scared. Oh, we don't want him running because they're gonna get a hold of him, man. It's a wrap. They not even worried about running their quarterback on you, and you're proving it because you ain't knocked nobody out the game yet. All these running quarterbacks running on you, and you ain't put nobody on the sideline. That's how soft you are. They're not scared of your linebackers. They're not scared of your defensive linemen. They're not scared of your safeties. At least when Shiloh was on the field, everybody knew Shiloh had the ability to knock somebody out the game. Referees had to cheat and everything. Come up with calls. You say he won that, but you know he gonna hit somebody at least one time in the game. He didn't wrap up, but he was gonna hit somebody. You gonna hear it and feel it. Who they got to do that? Third and 20. They know they finna get it. Doggone quarterback run over your doggone DBs and linebackers. They ain't scared of y'all. Yeah, I'll take that penalty all day. Doggone, because you gonna think twice. Woo, I ain't been hit like that since who knows? Because they protect me at Colorado. You get hit like that irregularly, that don't even hurt. But you ain't got hit like that since your junior year of high school or something. That's psychological. Somebody should be wearing your butt out at practice to the point where I get this all the time. And see, that's how you get pumped out in the game. Because you be like, this is different. I haven't had this experience. What's his team to be player led even at practice? He expects them to put extra work. Yeah, I mean, but those guys gone, man. Those are pros. That's not a college guy. That's a pro. That's why the ones who did it is in the pros. The ones who come back at nighttime and they meet up and run routes and go down to Shador, down to Texas Ranch on their break and go work out. That's Shador. Shador the one going to high school fields and all that after practice. That kind of work ethic is a pro. That's not normal. You can't expect everybody to do that. You can't expect everybody to do that. Those guys put in that work and it worked. That's why you know the difference in the caliber of the guys. Because a pro, they work on their stuff all the time. Jeremiah Brown said, I said, how you get better? He said, I remember Sim Craig, he used to come home, he used to go out to practice, go get his body treatment on, come home, watch film, and go back and meet with his coaches. And he said, I learned from that. I don't know why he didn't do it earlier, but he was talking about it. Cameron Sim Craig is a pro too. He is a pro. He ain't a starter, but he on somebody's roster. And you can't name nobody who did it that's not a pro, except Shiloh. And I don't even know how much film he watched. But that's a whole nother conversation because, all Coach Prime boys is about out the league and benched. We may get into that for a split second before we close out. I don't even want to read the stats, but you know what I am, since we is talking about this mess. We is talking about this. Who we at? Shador had a whole receiving core. Yeah, man. There was nothing. That was nothing for them boys to get together in Miami or wherever they was at. It was nothing. On their break, they go hang out and boom. It was nothing for them to get together. That's a lifestyle. It was led by their leaders, who Coach Prime said that's a leader. Yeah. It was led by their leaders, but that's what they did. They was, LeJontay and he was doing that before he came to Colorado. Xavier Weaver. They had videos this for on going down the hills. He found hills on the side of a highway before he even got there doing drills going up the hill. That's what he been doing. That ain't what he did when he got there. And all them boys is pros. Pros. Yeah, that's what pros do. Yeah, man, these people ain't built like that. Let me see these Colorado stats. I ain't gonna even play with it. I ain't gonna do no good, bad, ugly in that because it's all ugly. It's all ugly. Let me see these stats. Player stats, team stats. Colorado total yards was 140 yards the whole game. They gave up 587 yards. That's unheard of. Passing yards, they didn't know they had that much. They must contribute to that. 102 during garbage time. 102. They only threw the ball 165 yards. Um, Passing. Utah. 38 rushing yards, 400 to 202 rushing yards for Utah. 2.1 yards per carry for Colorado, 7.7 for Utah. Utah had 25 first downs. Colorado had 12. I don't know. We got to show for that. Third down efficiency 3 of 16. Guess what? Colorado stopped them on third downs 5 out of 15 times. I guess they didn't need third downs to do it. 5 of 15. Their stats weren't that much better third down. And they only got one fourth down when they faked the punt. So, it was some there. Colorado didn't do nothing on fourth, 0 for 2. Total plays, Colorado ran 68. Utah only ran 76. It wasn't even a clock game. It was all big plays. Matter of fact, the first 3 touchdowns were all big plays. Pretty much all these touchdowns were big plays. They would get stop, 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 big play. Big play, stop, 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 stop. That's how it worked. Colorado was sacked 7 times. They only caught 1 sack on Utah. Colorado punted 10 times. Utah punted 5. You wouldn't think with all this that they punted the ball 5 times. Big plays. Penalties. Colorado only got 2. I just told you about them penalties. They ain't got to penalize the sorry team. You playing sorry, they ain't scared of you. You rig yourself. 15 yards. Utah had 8 penalties for 80. And they still beat you like that. No fumbles. Colorado threw 1 interception. Guess what? Colorado had the ball 26 minutes, 22 seconds. You wouldn't have nothing to show for that. And Utah only had it 33. They didn't need it. It was scoring big plays. When they weren't scoring big plays, Colorado was stopping them. That's what I look at the big picture. Colorado was stopping them outside of the big plays. Period. So, and guess what the big plays came? Tackling. Tackling. They couldn't tackle worth for crap. And every game that they got blown away like that, it was tackling. I remember last year when they got booked. Kansas, tackling. Kansas State, Shador got them back in there, but it was tackling. Piss poor tackling. Piss poor tackling. Yeah. They came together. You know. Yeah. He ain't praise him like that, I promise you. Yeah. He was an NFL. Yeah, Jimmy a pro, man. He a pro. His route running is good, better than we. He didn't get a lot of shine because he got so many other guys. Yeah, I mean, I think they bench. I know Amarion was benched for half. Some he did, so he wasn't gonna play the first half anyway. So that's what happened with that. I don't know about Sincere. I think Sincere was in the game because he caught a pass from Salter or something. When Staub came in, Utah pulled. Yeah, they pulled everybody out. They was already up like 30 points. Like Utah didn't play that great. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The same way BYU didn't play that great. Like you don't have to play great when the other team willing to play garbage. Like they didn't do nothing great. The big plays was because Colorado. One because Utah was so great. Because Colorado, when they went into stupid mode, they stopped them. Just like they was able to stop Utah when they wanted to. Just like they was able to stop. They bipolar. They're inconsistent and it's jacked up. You know, he can say fire, but it's like, yeah, either he can retire or he can get rid of the whole thing and start from scratch because he something's off. And you skimming those like you wasting putting too much salt in your food and you trying to scrape salt off the top. Nah, you don't ruin it. Like his junk is ruined. Like the DB play, Mathis, all that. DB play ain't been good since he been there. They ain't developed nothing, and they look like garbage. They look like they don't have a clue. They look like they out of sync with the rest of the team. From the very first year Coach Prime got there, his home Mathis, that's his homeboy. But them DBs look like garbage, and he a pro, and Coach Prime a pro. And Hart, the linebackers look like garbage. And I'm just calling it for what it is. Hart, linebackers look like garbage. The DBs look like garbage. Defensive line, they in and out. The defensive line was better last year, and we can say it was, uh, the coaches who left, you know. But Dancy and I don't think you can put it on that. I just think the personnel was better. I mean, Block Bully, who was already clogging up the line before he got there. He did it at Houston. He did the same thing. And he made the defense totally different from the year before because he wasn't getting pushed back to the linebackers. And it took 2-3 linemen to block him. That he probably was the biggest contributor. We say it's Hill Green. Hill Green was nothing without Block Bully. Because Block Bully really disrupted the middle of the field. He took away a third of anybody's offense. He took away a third of everybody's offense by himself because he required at least 2 people to block him. So Hill Green, he wasn't like these guys. He read, he just run into the hole. Bentley still had that old kamikaze crash dummy mentality, but he even played better with Hill Green. Hill Green was a traditional linebacker who would hit you. He was big, and he definitely read better than these guys. And Bentley was decent. We really didn't have no dynamic linebacker duo. It's just that they both would hit you. But Hill Green was a more sound linebacker. So you had those 2 components in the middle of your field. That's why the running game, defensive running game, was a lot better. Because it wasn't finna run up the middle. You gonna run outside. And then you ran outside, at least on one side, you had Travis Hunter. You talk all that crap about him. When Travis Hunter come up and hit you. You had BJ Green on one, you know what I'm saying, playing come out the edge. He's a pro, right? He was a pro. So you had, I just named a few pieces that made a big difference. You had Silman Craig when all else failed. Silman Craig making up for the linebacker garbage play. He making up for the missed tackles on the line. He come up and spoiling everybody. He blitzing. Silman Craig, huge factor on the defense last year. From the alignment to make sure people knew what they were doing, to make sure everybody was accountable and focused and study. I just named 4 guys. Shiloh did all. He didn't play that great last year. He was hurt. So, that's what they had, and that's what they lost. We already know Travis Hunter gonna lock down side of the field. You think about this. How many picks y'all got this year? Even the ball go right between their hands, off their hands. DBs ain't getting no picks. They dropping more picks than they. But you throw anything near Travis for the last couple of years, it's getting picked. So that's a difference too. Turnovers, interceptions, sacks. Last year they led in sacks because you had a pro on one end and BJ Green. And then them other young ones who are older guys now, they just filled in the gap. When you look at Arden Walker, he not doing all. Keaton Wade came on a little bit, but you had one consistent guy who was tearing them up, and that was BJ Green. He was putting pressure or he was getting sacked, and that helped him push people to the other side, and that helped them play better. Now we got 2 freshmen who doing most of whatever, but it's just a different team. And as much as Coach Prime would say, hey, these guys are better, clearly they're not a better team. They have better individuals, but no, you better nothing. At the end of the day, it's a different team. Yeah, you say you ain't got no leaders, you ain't got a whole lot of nothing. And you can't sugarcoat it, you can't hide it. Like Adam was saying, maybe your practice schedule and all that, you got away with it because they were just that much more aggressive, whatever. Maybe. But imagine how much better they could have been. So it still hurts you. And if we look at it, I think one thing, I'm going to talk about this a little later. Come back for inspiration, motivation. I was going to talk about it, but I was saying I ain't going to put all this together. Colorado remind me so much of Cleveland over there right now. And 3rd and long throughout the game, and they still convert. Yeah. And that was sometimes they had him third and long. Okay. They still convert on first down. They had no heart last night. Yeah. Yeah. These coaches are scared to see you. Did you see that fake? Yeah. Yeah. They don't have no respect, man. They don't have no respect. And we seen it a bunch. We seen it last year a bunch of times. We seen it Colorado State do it that first year. I think BYU did it. These teams will go on fourth down against you because they say you weak. Even if it's a yard or two, they feel like they can bully your line, and you usually do. And you can't even. I mean, assault shot dude couldn't even get a yard. Couldn't even get a yard, man. They don't respect you. All these Swayze bodies around here. This ain't for modeling contracts. They are bullying Colorado, man. You say, "Oh, I want bigger guys," but they bigger, but they soft. You got a big line. You wanted a big line, you got it, and they still playing like the small line. From a standpoint of you're not really moving people out the ball who, especially other bigger teams that got big linemen. You look like you still got small linemen going against big linemen because you're not moving them, and they getting immediate pressure in the backfield, and they making your running game obsolete. It's like you can't move them. Like you all this size you want, and you still can't move them. You put all that size on your defensive line, they still run for 300 yards. Like you keep hiding around all the fat. Now you want to use the term physicality. But what are you doing about the physicality? What kind of you're not preparing them to be physical. You're preparing them to be soft. Not like the pros. You're not a pro. You can't practice like the pros because clearly they don't know how to tackle. Hopefully you get to the pros, you know how to tackle. But even the pro better make sure he's sharpening his tools. Because you got to make sure you keep knowing how to tackle. Because, like I said, if you don't do crap long enough, you're gonna get uncomfortable with it. You're not gonna be as effective. You gotta know that. Let me end with this. There's some weird stuff going on. I talk about late, Shador, and he posting stuff, and then they say he not playing. Uh, Cleveland hung around for about a quarter, so got blasted away. Because, like I've been saying, you're not gonna beat nobody with dink and dunk passes in the running game. They're just not gonna work. These are pros. And they put him on the inactive list and put the backup, the scout team quarterback up to backup. I don't know what kind of silly game is this. How long that's gonna go? Are they gonna leave him there back up? And then they saying that Shador gonna get traded and all of that. And like, why you ain't been traded? It's a lot of weird stuff going on. It's not a good time for these Sanders boys. I say one thing, Shador, you better take that bit skeleton out your yard, cause boy, they skeletonizing your behind right now. You ain't got no room to play. Colorado is shooting bad. Charlo ain't even playing. Shador ain't playing. He on the roster, but ain't playing. It ain't looking no better. They're playing around with him. I don't know, but it's real spooky out there, what they say. It's spooky out here. Yep. Look, it's hard, man. You got how many more games? At least what, four more games, something like that. I don't know what they plan for. That's up to them. I don't know. Nobody cares about no bowl game. I don't know if they care. And it's like, you wait for so long to get to the point of the season to see these games, to see this is like, and it just spoils the fan base, because it's one thing to lose bad and waste people time and look like that. It make people like not want to deal with you because people typically don't deal with losers. Everybody want to be with a winner, and people love Coach Prime and all of that, but uh, yeah. He said Cleveland might make a change to 2-12. And I mean, he ain't even active right now. I don't know what's going on. I made a joke, but not a joke. I said Shador, Coach Prime made the comment. And you can see Coach Prime be talking in code. He said to Bucky, this is the one game. Last time we was here, this is the game when Shooter didn't play. And he was like, yep. He said the only game the only game he ever missed. The only game. He put emphasis on the only game. And as ironic he's saying that because maybe by then he knew Shador wasn't gonna play in this one. I don't know, but it's like Shador don't got the Cleveland. He don't got body slam, suplex, DDT all through Colorado. Broke his back all up and everything. He's still playing, getting shots in the butt and everything. and only missed that Utah game. And yet, he already don't missed how many games this year? I ain't even talking about being on the bench. He during the preseason, he was so-called hurt. Now his back hurt. Man, you on the bench and you get hurt. This man don't got whooped all over the field and he played, and now he getting hurt on the sideline. What is really going on up there? What kind of hoopy-doobie is going on up there? This man called himself getting hurt on the bench. He ain't even getting no scout team reps. He ain't getting no first team reps. He getting limited reps, and he get strained his back. Man, y'all done quit playing. What the hoopy-doobie is going on up there in Cleveland, man? Appreciate it. That's all I mean. What the hoopy-doobie is going on? These Sanders family, boy, they better quit playing with these imps out here. These imps. Y'all better quit playing. You got no room to play. Everybody else can play. You can't. They can't either, but you sure can. You better put them doggone Count Dracula out your doggone. You can't afford the Halloween. Your life is a Halloween. Yeah, I mean, he playing like he been playing. Nobody's surprised by how Dylan play. He throw interceptions. He skipped the ball out the ground. He been doing that crap the whole offseason. Only what kind of foolishness? I ain't a fool. This is how he been playing. But Shador, Cole Prime, Shallow, they need to go to Deliverance, man. They should have been in Atlanta this past Monday through Wednesday. Over at the Lion Heart or something. Because they got some hoobie-doobie on y'all, boy. Y'all him bad. Y'all better figure this crap out, boy. Y'all think it's sweet. All y'all him bad at one time. Y'all was hitting good, and now you him bad. Yeah. Would you prove it, Allen? I mean, to me, all of it fake. You want to be real. But the first time he had to be fake. When he was acting like his back was hurt, whatever, his side was hurt, and they didn't let him play after he had that big game, and Dylan was screwed. And then the next game, Dylan played, and Shador didn't play. Then he came back that last game against the Rams and looked bad. But Shador had a kept momentum right there. It wasn't been no Dylan. The way he played at Carolina, and then he supposed to play it against, who was that they supposed to play it against? It wasn't Pittsburgh, whoever that was. The Ravens, not one of the Ravens. It wasn't on them teams, so they played them in the season. I don't know who that was that they played that second game that Shador supposed to play after he had that big game. And Shador was hurt. Was the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what Philadelphia Eagles. He ride around on the cart with Jalen Hurts. That was fake then. All of it fake. Let's be real. But it's like, because he ain't never been hurt, and all of a sudden he hurt. All right, with his momentum about to hit. It's about time for him to play now. And now he hurt. He about to be the second quarterback, and they about to be hurt again. Like, this man ain't been hurt his whole career to miss games. And now he on the bench missing games. He pulling hamstrings and back strings on the bench. Maybe he's back too tight because he's on that oak. I don't know, man. Something spooky is going on. And he got these spooky creatures hanging up in his yard. If your life is spooky enough to be spooking, boy, you might want to... You got enough spook. Pick a boo. Boo, you got enough of that in your own life. You got time to play with them imps. Them imps don't like you. You better quit playing. It ain't sweet. Everybody else, you ain't got no room to play. Well, that's a whole nother conversation. Make sure y'all subscribe. Greg said, I'll have that conversation later. Because it's real weird out here. Appreciate y'all coming through. I had a good time. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Enjoy y'all day. I'll talk to y'all soon.